one of the things that we have tried to do in the missions context that we work in is to create networks that will help facilitate things like sending missionaries, raising support for them, training them. And so I have been living in Costa Rica for the last 10 years, and we as Wycliffe are part of a fellowship of mission agencies that are trying to do this very thing. But it was interesting, about 6 years ago, we realized that there were a lot of international and local organizations that are focused on missions here in Costa Rica. For some reason, a lot of them are attracted to this part of the world to establish their Latin America office or their Central America office. And so we began, there's about 2 or 3 of us that already knew each other. And so we decided to start inviting others to a table. We called it a round table. And kind of following along the model of the Combivan model of a missions network, where you exchange information and you make friendships, but not necessarily create an institution. And so one of the experiences that I'll never forget is we started getting together once a month, and we started trying to plan things that we could do together. And there was a specific event where one large missions organization was bringing a ship into Costa Rica where they could do ministry. So we decided to work with them and mobilize churches and talk about missions and do this big campaign. I don't want to go into all the details, but needless to say, towards the end of this project, I wouldn't say it was a failure, but it certainly wasn't a success. We realized that we had miscommunicated, that we had different expectations, and that the event ended up being very small compared to what we expected. And so we did a post-mortem debriefing about a week after the ship had left, and what went wrong. And it would have been really easy to start blaming each other. Well, you said you were going to do this, and you didn't do this, and you told me you're going to bring something and you didn't. But we prayed, and we realized that what happened is that we weren't ready to work in that way, that we still needed to spend time together to figure out who we were as individuals, getting to know each other, but then also trying to figure out who were we as a team, as a group of mission leaders, mission agencies, and churches and all that. What is it that we were trying to accomplish? And sitting down to try to write it down in a contract wasn't going to do it. So we made a commitment to each other to meet once a month. And what we would do at these meetings was we would rotate where the meeting would happen. So each of the organizations would be hosting it. And every time we met, that organization would provide breakfast. And so that was our responsibility. And the other things we wanted to do is the host organization could invite their staff to be at this meeting with the other leaders. And so we would get to know each other as leaders, but also the different teams. So we did that. And I think after about a year, we started noticing a change. We started really seeing each other as friends. The critical point in the development of this missions roundtable in Costa Rica was when one of our organizations that were part of the roundtable, their offices burned down. It was a short circuit in the office, and it was a small office, but they lost everything. Interestingly enough, it was the regional office for a very large organization, and they made the choice of, I think they could have asked their organization to send them some money and buy everything new, but they decided to, in a sense, put themselves under the group that we're a part of here, and they said, help us. And one organization said, well, you can use the second story on our new building and you don't have to pay any rent. And then we took a collection. A lot of these organizations are small. They're local, national organizations. Few of us represent larger organizations. But we raised several $1,000s so they could buy furniture and replace some of their equipment. And then another organization provided a vehicle until they were able to get one. And that particular event that happened about 4 years ago really made a difference. After that, I saw a jump in the quality of the relationships, and we began to be able to do things together, to be able to do projects that impacted not only the church here in Costa Rica, but the missions movement worldwide. And since then, we've increased the number, but also in I would say the effectiveness of what we do and the efficiency even of our meetings. Yeah, that's been a really good experience for us.